The only thing deader than this franchise is us. We're recording this on Sunday night after 4 days at New York Comic Con. So for anybody out there who is like, why haven't you put up the Joker review yet? Because we were at New York Comic Con this entire weekend. Hopefully by the time that this review goes up, the Joker review will also be like right around the corner, so don't worry, you shouldn't have to wait long on that. But yes, we just got back from New York Comic Con. I want to say we had a wonderful time. I met a ton of people. This is the most fans I've ever met. I just want to say thank you to every single person out there who was being so nice and so supportful and coming up and saying, hey, I love your stuff. So I thank you guys for that. Now on to the crap. Actually, you know what? This movie, it's got bad reviews, but honestly, I don't think it's crap. I think it is I think it was okay.
Yeah, it's just very average. It's like very much your average horror movie, modern day mediocre horror movie.
There's a lot of things in here I don't like, but there was never anything in here that was just like, oh my god.
It's like, by the way, if you ever seen our review for the original Friday the 13th, we talked a lot of shit about that movie.
It is totally worth pointing out, I do not like the original Friday the 13th. I really do not like the very first Friday the 13th. The second one, which is when Jason first appeared, I like that one. I actually do like that one. And I have liked some of the other ones after that one. So it's not like I just hate this franchise, but yeah, I was not a fan of the original Friday the 13th. But I don't feel like it's fair to really compare the remake of Friday the 13th to the original one, because in the original one, it was Mrs. Voorhees who was the killer. And this one, I gotta say, it's actually pretty clever that they start this thing off with a flashback. They start this thing off with a flashback. They say, yeah, back in the 80s, there was a summer camp here, and the kid drowned, and the mom kind of went nuts and just started killing all the camp counselors. But turns out that Jason, her son, is still alive. He was out there in those woods, and he saw her die. And if you're a big, like, Friday the 13th fan, this really is kind of a big Easter egg fest for you. There's a ton of things in here that, listen, I think it is a very film, but I have to look at it and say the people who wrote this, they were Friday the 13th fans. They knew what went into the previous installments of this franchise, because it starts off with a flashback, which is basically all of the very first film, all wrapped up in one. They do the Evil Dead 2 sort of approach to this. We're just, yeah, man, let's just take that thing and just like, boop, right there, right at the front of the movie. And then after that, when Jason starts popping up, very first time that Jason pops up, he's got a big bag over his head. He's got a big burlap sack for a mask. Just like he did in the second film. And then later on in the film, that's when he gets the mask. And okay, all right. And then, listen, we're going, it's the post-Shriek out reaction, so we go full spoilers on this stuff. He does eventually die at this thing. This really is the first 4 Friday the 13th films kind of all rolled into one. And it's actually kind of impressive that they tried to cram all those movies into one and made it as comprehensive as they did. It's hard to compliment this film. It really is, because there's a lot of things in this film that I look at and go, okay, that's actually kind of smart, but it's not done well. For example, I was looking up trivia for this movie because I was trying to find out if somebody in here was like a cameo, which doesn't look like they were. But I was looking up some trivia for this thing. Jason kills 13 people in this movie. That's actually smart. That's actually a smart thing to do for a Friday the 13th reboot. That's actually kind of cool. None of them were really that interesting. I don't really care about any of the characters, but there was someone behind the scenes who was kind of smart about this. So, gotta give some credit to this thing, but when it comes to everything else in this film, outside of the like, oh, I get that reference, it's really kind of just dull and uninteresting.
Yeah.
And it lacks like a lot of the magic that I feel like some of the other Friday the 13th films had.
Yeah.
And that's coming from somebody who isn't the biggest fan of the Friday the 13th franchise.
It's like, the thing is, like, the original Friday the 13th movies they're just very iconic.
Yes.
And this doesn't really feel all that iconic. It feels more like a tribute to the icon. I guess it's hard to explain.
It doesn't really have the magic of the previous one. And one of the reasons why is Jason himself. Because Jason, the entire point of him is that he is supposed to feel like this big, unstoppable juggernaut. Like, you just throw everything at him and he just keeps coming. And in this one, he just feels more human than I've ever seen him in any of the other Friday the 13th films. But normally when you say a character feels human, you mean, oh, because they gave them depth. No, this just feels like a dude in a mask chasing people down. And part of it is because of, like, the way that he runs after people. Jason in the old films, whenever he went after someone, he always kind of had like those like zombie, like Frankenstein. Like even when he was like reaching like not walking slowly, he was actually struggling to grab someone. He had like the Frankenstein.
He's lumbering.
He's lumbering. Yes. Here, when he's tackling someone, it feels like just two people wrestling around. It feels like if you kick this dude in the nuts, you might actually be able to like get away from this. But you should never look at Jason and go, just kick him in the nards.
No.
Jason doesn't have nards. Jason's an unstoppable mystical force from the woods of Camp Crystal Lake.
Think of Jason Voorhees as trying to fight a bear.
Yeah. Kinda. In this one, it doesn't feel like you're fighting a bear. It feels like you're just fighting kind of a big dude. And yeah, it's an intimidating big dude, but it just feels like a big dude. And this is gonna be a weird one to throw out there. But I think another part of it isn't just the way that he moves, it's also the sound effects. Because when he's like slapping people around or getting into a tussle with someone, it's very much stereotypical people are fighting sound effects in a movie. It is very stereotypical slap, 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 slap sound effects that you would hear for any regular fight. And this is gonna be like the weirdest, most pretentious thing to say, but yeah, I feel like they needed to deepen that a little bit or make it feel like you're not slapping another person's
Make it feel like it has more of an impact.
Make it when the person slaps Jason, don't make it sound like you're slapping another person. Make it sound like you're just slapping like a big burlap sack of potatoes. Like just a big slap of...
Big thwump.
Well, that just was me slapping real skinny again. But yeah, like if you just get like a punching bag in here, like just that...
Yeah.
Something like that, like, oh man, it feels like if I just cut you, sawdust is just gonna start pouring out of you. Something like that. So yeah, Jason, plus there's also just moments where he's like standing in a very human way. And these are very small ass details. I know this is the nittiest of picks. Yeah, these are super nitpicks I have in here. But like there's a moment here in which he kills someone with a bow and arrow. Which, man, it's been a while, but I think he did that in the third movie, so I think that's not like a new thing they're introducing. He has used bows and arrows before. But, when it cuts back to him, he lowers it like a very, like just a human way to hold it.
Yeah.
And it just, again, feels like a big dude just standing there with a hockey mask on at that point. Okay. Again, it's not like, you know, having a big dude in a hockey mask hunt you down wouldn't be a scary thing, but it doesn't feel special. Feels like just another generic slasher. That's all it kind of feels like. But we need to talk about the pacing of this film, which is so weird. Like, I'm putting an H in that weird. Weird. Because this film, it starts with a fake opening, which a lot of horror films do, where they start following a group of people, and then it turns out that group of people, they're just there to be killed off by the killer, to let you, the audience, know, okay, that's how bad the killer is.
No, at first it was a flashback, and then it was the fake group.
There's two fake intros in this thing. There's two fake intros. There's an epilogue and a fake opening to this film. But then it goes into that fake opening, and yeah, that's something that a lot of horror films do, in which it opens up and it's like, okay, we're going to follow this group, and then they're immediately killed off, just so you can go, oh, that's what the threat is, and now we're following our group of people there. Okay, I got this. I see where this movie's going. The fake opening lasts 23 minutes out of this hour-and-a-half long film. Almost a third of this movie is the fake group we're not actually following. Okay. Like, I wasn't even mad at them for that. I was more just surprised. Bold strategy, Jason. Let's see if it pays off for him. Okay. And it didn't. It really, like, I don't feel, man, I want to say it was a bad idea, but I didn't hate it because I was still just so shocked, like, oh, wow. Nobody does a half-hour-long fake intro, except for Hitchcock, I guess, in Psycho. But even that was there to prove a point. Wow. Oh my God. That is the one thing that Psycho and the Friday the 13th remake have in common. They spend a long ass time focusing on not the main characters. Yeah, wow, that is a weird connection to make. I feel dirty making that connection right now. But it's just so weird. There's no other word for it. Like you're saying, they're going, why did you keep this going for so long? The movie's a third of the way over and I haven't met the main characters yet.
And the thing is, the fake out main cast and the real main cast, they're both so...
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who gives a crap?
The only reason why there would be a fake out in the beginning is because the brother of one of the sisters, of one of the girls in the original group, was missing and he wants to go out and find her.
Yes, there was a girl in the original group that gets killed off, that group that just gets wiped out at the beginning of this film, and then her brother is one of the main characters we're following. I guess he's supposed... This is another thing that's just kind of odd about this film. There really is no main character. There is, I guess, Jason? Is it? I mean, I guess that's really what we're going for.
That's really all that matters in these horror and Friday the 13th movies, right?
But typically there's still that one person who you're meant to stick with. But we're introduced to this guy after we're introduced to the other group of people.
Yeah.
And there's another girl in that group that we're introduced to. And we follow her pretty much as we follow the brother in here. So, again, it's not like you can't do that. No. It's not like there's a rule that says you have to have one main character in your film. But it's an interesting choice that not a lot of people do because not a lot of people can pull that off. And I guess this one does pull it off, but only because nobody is interesting enough to really make it worth your time. Yeah. I guess. Yeah, like, this is one of those things where if you just suddenly had the random stoner guy turn out to be the main character in here, you go, yeah, okay, fine. By the way, that's our dog chewing on a squeak toy right now. Yeah. We're not going to stop her because it'll probably help with all the awkward pauses that I'm going to make during this review.
Plus, we're just too tired to like cut everything and re-edit it.
Yeah, this is the post-con chill out where we're just sitting here. We're just gonna have like a beer on the table and just like another thing about that Friday the 13th remake.
No, but it's gotta be pumpkin beer because it's Thorgiween.
I really should have gone as like pumpkin beer for this review. I'll give us that for like the final week of Thorgiween. We'll be drinking pumpkin beer for the entire time. Because there is some in the grocery store and I have been looking at it.
It's like, it's so tempting.
Don't throw the ball. That just creates more noise and encourages her. So anyway, there's a whole drama happening below the screen right now. So yeah, it's... Again, I'm sorry that I don't like have more energy about this, but it's one of those films where I feel like I should be coming in here and going, oh, this is so poorly made. But even though it's poorly made, it's interesting choices. Yeah. So I gotta give them that. Yeah. I gotta go with something on this.
Plus, like, all the things that we don't like are just, like, things we expect from, like, mediocre horror movies.
It is such a mediocre horror film.
Like, all the teenagers that get killed off, they're just completely obsessed with booze, weed, and sex.
It is, nobody has characters here. This is the second film we have seen in, like, 1 week where there were 2 blonde ladies in there, and I didn't realize that until one of them died.
Oh, but now there are 2 blonde guys, and you couldn't even tell which ones were which.
No, there was only 1 blonde guy.
No, there were 2 blonde guys in this, in Friday the 13th remakes.
No, there's only 1.
Are you sure? I could have sworn there was another.
The dude from Supernatural is a brunette.
Yeah, but I thought, like, the group, besides the,
No, there's the rich, cocky guy who we're just gonna call Chad. Chad Winsington III, we're just gonna call him that. He's the guy who's like the leader of the group, and he is such an asshole. Then there's his girlfriend. Then there's... No, there is!
Yes!
Oh my god!
Yes, I told you!
The dude who was killed with the arrow!
Yes!
Wow!
Yes!
I didn't care about these people. Oh my god, they have the douchey blonde guy dating a blonde girl, and another blonde guy also dating a blonde girl.
And then there's like...
Didn't want to mix and match this shit at all.
And then there was the stoner kid.
There was the stoner kid and his friend, who you can tell this was produced by Michael Bay, because... Yeah, that was a surprise when that popped up in the credits. Which they opened with that. Thank God that wasn't like Paul W.S. Anderson directing, what was that, Alien vs. Predator, where at the end of it, I was just like, who on earth did such a bad job with this? Oh, Paul W.S. Anderson. Okay.
Like,
no, this film opens with produced by Michael Bay. He didn't direct it, but was produced by Michael Bay. And you can tell because as soon as the one black guy in the film pops up, his entire character is just, I'm the black guy in the film. And I mean, literally, 2 of his first 3 lines of dialogue is, I'm the black guy. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I just went, yeah, this was made by Michael Bay.
Here's a fun thing. Like, while you were looking up trivia, like, Michael Bay actually walked out of the premiere of this remake because he didn't like that there was so much sex.
That was, oh my God. That was one of the pieces of trivia that I looked up, which is that Michael Bay, the producer of this film, walked out of the showing of this movie because he said that there was too much sex in it.
Too much sex and not enough explosions.
In a Michael Bay film?
That's one thing we never thought we'd expect.
Yeah, out of all the things I was expecting, by the way, I know I'm holding up Peach's green squeak toy against the green backdrop. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we don't care. Like we said, this is the post-chill out.
This film does not, warrant that much attention. We forgot 2 different people in this film. Yeah, that was a very interesting thing, because there is a lot of fucking that goes on in this film. I will say, if anyone wants to complain that there is too much sex in a Friday the 13th film, first off, it's a Friday the 13th film. That's a weird complaint to make. But if you're going to make it about any Friday the 13th film, I guess this is the one to make it about. But those films were always known for, yeah, there's going to be a lot of fucking in here, because one of Jason's rules is, if you're not married and you have sex, I will murder you, children.
It's like, I drowned because you were fucking!
That's part of his backstory!
It's not, I drowned because you were smoking weed, which, by the way...
Yeah, another sign is the Michael Bay film. He thinks weed humor is hilarious. But yeah, that's so weird to think that, Michael Bay wants nothing but sexy women barely wearing anything in his movies. But wait, are they actually gonna have intercourse? Oh no!
Ooh.
No, this is a family Friday the 13th film. That was just such a weird piece of trivia. We had to tell the audience that. But yeah, this is just really crappy B-level stoner comedy. It's really crappy. There's a lot of sex humor in here, but there's some there's a moment where
no sex humor, but just a lot of sex. And nudity.
There's a moment in there where one of the blonde women, they want to go water skiing, and she decides to go topless for some reason in there, which she has the one death scene in here I actually think is good. She has the one death scene that I actually went, all right, that kind of got me. Because she is hiding from Jason underneath.
Underneath the dock.
Yeah, which, by the way, again, we're going full spoilers on these things. She's hiding from Jason underneath the docks, and she's just... she's under the water. She looks up, she can see him walking across the boards on top of him. She's just sitting there. There's a moment of silence, and then chunk, the machete goes straight into her head, and it is a clean, quick cut. Just bam, that. That's actually pretty good. That's okay. I gotta give you one thing on this one movie.
Since we're going full spoiler, the girl from the original group who was the missing sister, she's alive, and Jason is keeping her around because she looks like his mom. Yeah,
it was again an interesting reveal, and it's not so great for story purposes. I mean, I guess it's okay because then it justifies the long fake intro. Yeah. I guess it justifies that now, but in all honesty, if that fake intro had been 10 minutes rather than 23 minutes, still would have gotten the exact same effect. Yeah. Still would have gotten the exact same effect, and we would have gotten more time to spend with the other people here. So that's an interesting thing, and also it is, if you're a Friday the 13th fan, there is that moment in which he's like, it's okay, Jason, you've done enough now, Jason, where she's trying to make him think of his mom, which... Okay, that's a nice little turnaround, paying tribute to part 2. So okay, as a tribute, as a fan film for Friday the 13th, this isn't bad. No, it's an okay fan film for a major motion picture reboot. When you have all these talented horror directors out there and you decide to get Michael Bay for it, it's kind of stupid. It's kind of what you would expect from that exact description I just gave you. Yeah, this should not have been a major motion picture thing, but if you told me that some college kids got together and decided they were going to make their Friday the 13th fan film that was just combining the first 4 films, I'd look at it and be like, okay, you know what, that's all right. Kudos to you. Kudos to you on that. All right, cool. Good on you. Let's see, what else is there to talk about in this thing? I know there was like specifically a thing that was like, no, I gotta mention that. Yes, the main-ish girl, because there's no main character in here, but yeah, the dude from Supernatural is the guy, which by the way, that's the first of 2 times I'm gonna say that this week. Spoiler for an upcoming review. But the guy from Supernatural, who is the brother looking for his sister, he keeps running into this group of friends, and Chad Winsington III is just, yeah, bro, I'm not your bro. I'm not your buddy, pal. It's just totally like being the biggest dickwad for no reason other than I think that he got cut in line by this guy because he was trying to hang up like a missing person poster. Which that's acceptable cutting in line stuff. It was, hey man, can you put this up on the wall? Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah, let that shit go. Like, just let that shit go. But no, Chad Winsington III has to be the ultimate dick. No one is a bigger dick than Chad Winsington III. That's a sentence that's going on a shirt. That's our Thorgiween merch this year. So, yeah, he just hates him now because of that. And everyone hates him now. Except for, I think, Chad Winsington's sister?
No, I thought it was his girlfriend.
We thought it was the girlfriend for a long period of time, but then it's revealed it's not his girlfriend. The blonde lady is his girlfriend.
The other blonde?
Other blonde lady was... Second blonde lady was primary blonde guy's girlfriend. That's how that matched up. And secondary blonde guy was primary blonde lady's boyfriend. That's how they match up on that. I need strings and like stuff tying people's faces together behind me.
There's too many blondes.
Goddamn. So, yes, we thought, honestly, like the connections between these characters is defined so poorly. I thought that they were boyfriend and girlfriend, which was messed up because anytime that Supernatural dude like showed up to the house looking for his sister, she was the thirstiest person in any horror film. Like she was just, oh, hey, is that, oh, well, just tell me, is that your motorcycle? Okay. Oh, hey, mind if I touch that there? She is making the biggest goo-goo eyes at him you have ever seen. And Chad Winsington III is right there just like, yeah, bro. No, you're not coming into my house, bro. No, this is my house, bro. Like, I thought my dad gave it to me, bro.
I thought another reason why he was being a super douchebag was because he was jealous.
That's what I thought too. But then when she eventually leaves with him, which by the way, he is adamant about get out of my house right now. You're not welcome here. I'll walk him out to his motorcycle. And then she rides off on a motorcycle with him. And all I could think was, does nobody have questions about why it's been hours since that dude left and your friend has not got, is nobody like even going like, is there, please tell me there's a deleted scene of them going, is she getting on that motorcycle with him? Just something, because otherwise they do not care if she exists. She goes out there with this strange guy who you just told to get the fuck out of your house and now she's gone. And oh, no one has questions? No one has any questions about that.
For all you know, he could have been the killer. Like,
do you not have any concern for your friend at all? I mean, granted, he's way nicer than any of you assholes. But still, he's a total stranger, and your friend just left with him when they didn't say they were going to do that. So, even if you didn't know that they left, even if you didn't know that they left with him, wouldn't after a couple hours just go, hey, where's Killer Frost at? Because that's who, I don't know her character's name, but the actress went on to play Killer Frost in The Flash. So for all you Flash fans out there, that's interesting to know. But yeah, after a couple hours, isn't one of you going to ask the question, hey, has anybody seen What's-Her-Face? Nobody? Nobody's gonna have a question about why she's just gone? It's never gonna come up? Fine, sure. But I will say, it is kind of an interesting twist they throw in at the end. Like, again, nothing in here is really good, but it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And that's why, even though this is not a well-made film, I can't hate it.
Yeah.
I can't even really be upset with it. Because if you give me something that's bad but interesting, I'll watch it. I'll gladly watch it. And this film does some interesting things, and one of them is that as the film goes along, it eventually gets to the point in which they find the sister, they get reunited, and then they're trying to escape Jason. And then there is this one quick, it happens so quick, I thought it was gonna be like retconned out. Like I thought they were gonna go, no, I'm fine, everybody. But the main girl we've been following the whole time, she gets stabbed right through the chest as they are about to escape. And I looked at that and just went, oh my god, they just killed off the last girl. They just killed off the final girl in a horror film.
They killed off the love interest for the guy.
Well,
the possible love interest.
Love interest in horror films dying is nothing new. That goes through every slasher film. That's almost mandatory. But it was stunning to me that, okay.
Like, she survived for so long.
Yeah, normally in a horror film, there's the last girl. There's the female protagonist, and she's the last one left alive after everything else. And you're watching this going, yeah, it's going to be her. It's going to absolutely be her. And then the sister pops up and is like, surprise, I was the last girl the whole time. But then what does that make? Chunk. Oh, I'm dead now. Yeah, it's an interesting film. It really is.
And the thing, like, they also make tribute to the original Friday the 13th by after.
I thought you were in that by saying the original Friday, like the Ice Cube.
No, like they quote unquote kill Jason and throw his body into the lake, and then suddenly he pops up and.
That was so weird too. And again, it's not really a good idea what they did there. But it was a bold. It's bold with how not good of an idea it was.
Yeah, like
and they went all in on it. So I'm like, okay, I'm watching. Yeah, because in the original one, the girl has the nightmare where she's out there in the canoe and she's like, oh, everything's okay now. And then the dead body of Jason comes out of the lake and grabs her, and then she wakes up and goes, oh, it was all a dream. We just found you floating out there. Maybe it wasn't a dream. Maybe he's still alive out there. That's how the first one ends. This one, they dump Jason's body into the lake. They watch him slowly fall down.
Yeah, they throw the mask into, which you also see float to the bottom.
Yes. And then Jason burst up through the dock.
The dock.
And just grabs her and pulls her down. I went, okay, sure. Which was pretty much my reaction throughout this entire film.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I made the joke earlier, but really, it's the best way to describe this entire film. Bold strategy. Let's see if it pays off for him. That's kind of my feeling about everything they did in this film.
Like, if it were up to me, like I would just have cut to the mask sinking and then the hand, Jason's hand. But I guess since this is produced by Michael Bay, that would have been too subtle. That would have been too subtle.
Again, and also again, they wanted to have tribute to the first film.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it is so just out of nowhere. Like, it was that moment where you're like, all right, I guess it's, if we were in the theater, we'd be going, all right, make sure that you got your keys, your phone, everything. So let's make sure everything's all packed up. And whoa! Guess I'll sit and see if there's a post-credits scene now. All right, sure. Yeah, it's fascinating what they decided to do with this, I guess. It's fascinating how not fascinating it is. And also with how much they leaned into the not fascinating to the point where it became fascinating. Yeah, it's a film where you look at this and you might go, why are you saying that this is interesting? There's really nothing interesting here. True. And yet, the things that they decided to do with this, I gotta say, like, there's some interesting ideas in here. And they leaned into those ideas. But none of them were, like, creative, innovative things. But it's kind of creative in how not creative some of the ideas were. It's weird. It's hard to describe this.
It is.
You guys know what I'm saying now. Here's another piece of trivia. Here's another piece of trivia with this, and this is like a scumbag piece of trivia with this thing. This is not, even though this is part of our remake week, this is not considered a remake. Because if it was a remake, then according to the Writers Guild of America, the writer of the original film would have to be paid more than if it was considered a sequel. So they categorize this as a sequel. So that way, they would have to pay the original writer less.
That's really dick.
That's dickish. But when the producers were asked about this, they said they basically want it to be that the first 4 films still happened. But Jason died at the end of the 4th film, and the 5th film, everybody kind of considers to be the worst of the franchise, because in that one, they just decide, well, Jason's dead, but we still want to keep this franchise going. So they picked a new person to be Jason. Just they picked some new person who was going to be a serial killer who was copycatting him, wearing a hockey mask, and no one liked that. So they basically said, yeah, we're canceling everything after 4 and making this one the new number 5. So in a weird way, it's kind of a remake of 5.
Yeah.
But you look at this and go, well, why on earth did Jason decide to do everything he did in the first 4 films again? Also, Jason died at the end of the 4th film. So how is he alive again in this one? Yeah, it's one of those, like, they had to, like, bend over backwards to make sure that they did not pay this guy more money than they possibly could. And yet it raises more questions than it really should. They should really just have said the first film still happened. Because that's technically true. Technically, the first film still happened in a flashback.
Yes.
So just say that from the second film on, this is all the legacy of Jason is brand new in here. Yeah, it's bizarre. This is a weird film.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, it's not well made, but I can't really even have negative feelings about this thing because it's so fascinating. But I've said that enough times, so we're gonna wrap up now. Enjoy this green ball floating in front of me right now.
Oh, it's a ghost because it's invisible.
So hole just go through me. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. That's the second episode of our remake wake. We make wake.
We will what?
Did I mention where this is the post Comic-Con video where we're all tired and exhausted? So I'm gonna wrap up now. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe so you can see all the other reviews that we're doing every single day this month in honor of Halloween. Make sure that you come back every single day because there will be a new review going up tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and happy Halloween.
Bye.